Hi everyone, Scrappy Kathy here, and I'm doing my Freeze Friday layout share on Sunday. And for the next 4 or 5 weeks, that's probably going to be my norm, is to do it on Sunday, because Sunday is when the rules, when the deadline hits for the Mind the Scrap Summer Challenge, and the rules change the next day. So basically from noon my time until 4 o'clock in the morning my time the next day, I don't I'm off the clock, and I can't be scrapping for points in that challenge. So, and the rest of the time, the rest of the week, other than that half day, the rest of the week, I need to be, scrapping and getting points. Not need to be, but as competitive as I am, that's kind of how I look at it. So I'm going to go through, there are 27 layouts in my stack this week. The first few of them were for the previous week's Mind the Scrap Summer Challenge. I think I must have done this on Saturday night or early Sunday morning or something. But when I do next week's stack, it'll only be for week 4 rules. So there's some week 2s and some week 3s. Okay, this one is one, and first one doesn't have a label on it. I cannot tell you what, I think this was week 2 rules that used stencils, and I kind of brushed some watercolor through the stencil, and I used a metal tag, which I really love, and I think I did this actually on the 8th, which was my anniversary, and this was a heavily filtered wedding picture. Okay, so I'll put that off to the side saying it needs a number. This one is one that I did without a video, so I'll tell you a little bit about it. It's all of this stuff here. I think everything came, all the papers and the fussy cut flowers came from a Vicky Bouton 6x8 paper pad for Let's Wander. I believe that's it, yeah. And I've got a few bits of ephemera, little like ticket there and so forth, and a few sequins. These alphas came from a bargain box that I got from Pink Fresh Studios a few years back, and I had never used any of them before this layout, probably because of this. I don't know how to put them on without getting a splotchy look. But I love these photos, and I love the papers because the green and yellow get picked up in this little boy's life jacket and his swimsuit, and the orange back here gets picked up in Barrett's swimsuit. Love that page. Not sure why I love it so much. This one is one that was done for Scrap Squad Day 9. I guess that was a Scrap Squad. Was that also a Scrap Squad? I guess, no, it was just Mind the Scrap Summer. This one was a Scrap Squad lift, and it was a hand-drawn heart with lots of good stuff inside. I did my hand-drawn heart. I stenciled, rubbed in some stenciling, and then I went over it with black ink. Just found lots of pretty goodies to put around there. Picture of John and me in the pool and our anniversary pizza party out by the pool, and got lots of monochromatic elements to make this probably one of my favorite pages ever. And I can tell it was the rainbow week. It was week 2 because we needed rainbows on our layouts. This one was done, it's kind of the reverse of a design that Christina Sword had taught us in a Palooza, or no, I guess it was a video that she did on Redefined Creative Facebook page. And I used a stencil here, so this is again the rainbow. So these are week 2 rules, and I think I don't have a video for that. I think this is the last one I did for week 2 rules. I have this wonderful stencil, and I got rainbow colors of Distress Oxide inks and kind of brought them through. I knew I wanted these last ones to be purple-ish because I had this purple tag, and this was a picture of my desk at the end of that week's crafting. I have cleaned my desk up today, though. This one is one for Christina Day, and I didn't use any particular criteria. It's the 9th of every month we do a those of us that are lucky enough to be in the Christina Swords universe do something using some of her products or one of her techniques or something. I used this little cut file or bits of a cut file from Creative Cuts, and this little cut file I colored, and I used it with a photo from our epic road trip, which I'm getting lots of memories of in my Facebook memories. This one was one, I guess, using the new rules. This is probably the first one, and it was a Scrap Squad day 10. This was the example layout. So I tore paper, so we're doing torn papers here, stamping, die cutting, doodling. There's some doodling around this guy and around there, and I doodled out in here. So that started off the week. This was my son at a track meet on his 10th birthday. Then I did a double-page spread of kind of the holiday season, and I call it the hospital season because Ava was in the hospital, we thought, for just her last chemo treatment. She got very, very ill with what they thought was pneumonia, probably turned out to be COVID. She nearly died at this point. She kind of came back, and at this point she looked like this as I was in the hospital for some heart surgery. And then on the 5th of January, that was on New Year's Eve, 5th of January, I wasn't supposed to get out of the house, but we got called up to the hospital to say goodbye to Ava, and it was the most desperate, scary, most horrible thing in the world. But 6 days later, she was out in the gardens at the hospital shooting baskets, got sick again, came back a couple days later and was playing video games and shooting baskets, came home on the 16th, and on that same day, John tripped and fell and broke his hand, and we ended up in the hospital. So too many hospital visits. And these cut files are from Christina's, from Creative Cuts. This is a page about a trip to Greece, and my big exciting thing here, I think there is a video there. This was for Challenge Accepted, and I was doing 2 challenges, the Mercy Tiara Inspiration Grab 5, which called for a stencil, puffy stickers, triangle or diamond shape, 2 photos of different sizes, and wood veneer. And for Mind the Scrap, I needed 2 or more photos, stamping, doodling, die cuts, or a cut file, and torn paper. So there's my torn paper, there's my stamping. I stamped directly onto a photo, and I was like holding my breath, and that's a stamp there too. Some doodling around this little journaling block, and stenciling here, and just all kinds of goodies on this. I love this paper. It's Webster's Pages Strawberry Fields. They're little diamond shapes in it. I just love how, I don't know, how distressed it looks. This is a different kind of page. I thought, I love this background paper. Be brave, be thankful, be kind, be honest, be you. Be thoughtful, be loving, be happy, be all the things you would want to say to a little 4-year-old boy, which Barrett was when these photos were taken. And I paired it with this really bright striped paper that I picked up from a giveaway table at a retreat. I have a couple frames here. I cut the frame in half. There's the one half of it and then another half, and I put some enamel dots, and I just love this page. It was kind of a quick and easy page to do. My torn paper is there. I just kind of wanted to use all the colors. This one was a Scrap Squad lift, and I used another cut file. This was the original. It had these 2 strips down there. Instead of strips, I tore some snow drifts out of glitter paper. I used a Christmas card to back this cup, and I fussy cut the jar and some things. Just had some nice little, that's not supposed to go there. That's actually supposed to go kind of right under there. I think that'll stay. This is another something fell. I heard something fall. Maybe not. This is another Scrap Squad lift. This was the original, and this was Rebecca Meadows' version, and I absolutely love both of those and tried to do it justice here. I turned from just kind of stash kits there to Paige Evans, and I actually doodled those leaves and then fussy cut them out. I doodled on top of the flowers. I doodled these scallops out of a striped paper, and I probably need to glue that down up here. Use some Bramble Fox perspectives, the little seagulls, and I love that title of Captured. This was just a photo we took just outside a restaurant at Fisherman's Wharf in San Francisco, and the colorful fishnets and gear, just rigging on this boat caught my eye. This is a filtered picture, but you can kind of see, I forget where that is, that you can see across the way, but I loved it and wanted to scrap it. It's something I'd never scrapped from that trip. This is one that, okay, this fell off. Let's go back to this page, which is where these things are, maybe right there. And I may have to glue that, so let me put that off to the side. Okay. This is one I just did for the Oh Baby YouTube hop. It actually just went live yesterday, and I'm trying to see if it has any. I think it's just a design that probably I borrowed the idea from this page. And anytime you do a strip and you line it or doodle on it and put something over here and something over here off to the diagonal is a great go-to design. But I had done one that's probably in this stack where there were some, there was a title or something interesting down in this corner, and there were some things leading down to that. You had something here, and then some things falling off. So I kind of violated that rule a little bit and did a hybrid of those. Everything on this page except the word play, which I sprayed with Heidi Swap Gold Color Shine, is Paige Evans, Turn the Page. The fussy cut flowers, this torn paper, that torn paper, this yellow paper, and the background. And there is a video on this, yes, the Oh Baby YouTube hop. You may have seen that yesterday. This one is one of 2 that I did for CSI, Color Stories Inspiration. And there are 2 cases there. The first case had these clues. It was kind of beachy themed. There were circular elements, documenting a trip to the beach, summer beach theme elements, butterflies, bugs, anchor. So I incorporated all of those. I took a vintage kind of beachy themed paper and fussy cut this out of it, and same piece of paper, I fussy cut this. I got a third piece of paper, and I put that all on top of this paper, which is a, let's see, I think this was a Fancy Pants, and maybe this was, I don't know what it was. I really honestly don't know. But I took another piece of paper and fussy cut these elements, these teal elements out, and kind of tucked them behind this, including a tag with a bow. Used this cut wood, kind of driftwood looking, and did a little cluster here. I have a matte black geotag there. I stamped some tropical leaves. I doodled these leaves, stamped some more here, doodled there. And the things I doodled and stamped kind of look like they go with what was already printed on this paper, which is kind of why I chose that stamp. So I like this page, although it's probably a little busy, and sometimes it's a better design principle to have a central focus for where your eyes want to land. And I fully realize that on this page, your eyes just have no idea where to go because there's stuff everywhere. But sometimes I like that. And you'll see that on my pages a lot, especially this one. This case at CSI had this kind of bohemian chic sort of image with little hand-drawn music notes and butterflies and birds and hot air balloons and things, and a guitar playing guy in a wagon, kind of a gypsy caravan sort of a look. And so I kind of went with that. I thought of this mural that's painted on the side of this building, and it actually had come up because 4 years ago, was it 4 years ago? 9 years ago. 9 years? No, was it? What on earth? 5 years ago, I guess. We were in, last month, these all came up in my memories. We were in London, and we took Katie to Europe for her 13th birthday gift. And this was the day we were in London, and we walked from our hotel down to the park, where South Bank Center, where the London Eye is. And we spent almost the entire day there. And it was busy and chaotic and fun, and there was music in the air. And I looked around to see, I know we bought some food or a drink or something from a cart, and I was hoping that I had gotten a photo of that. The best I could do was this kind of double-decker bus that was acting as a cart in the back, and Katie with her camera, and then a picture of the building. And then I just set about doing all kinds of mixed media, and I put this mandala there, and I doodled the London Eye, not very well, but I stamped and doodled all around the page, and die cut some butterflies out of a, I think it's a Graphic 45 collection called Bohemian Bazaar, and the print just really looks similar colors and a similar feel to this building, and so you can kind of see that there. So I love this page. I hated it for a while, and then it kind of grew on me. This one is one that I love because I absolutely love the background paper, and I let the background paper do do its thing, and I didn't really do much to it. I got a coordinating color of paper to put behind the photos, and then torn strips, kind of opposites. This one is matted in orange and then has the blue strip, and this is matted in blue and has the orange strip. I used that same Bohemian Bazaar paper here, and I think this is the reverse of that same paper. I stamped an arrow that looks just like the larger arrow that I die cut, stamped a little geotag. I doodled those flowers, and then I fussy cut them out of the reverse of this graphic 45 paper, some more stamped arrows. And these kind of, my idea was to look like those might actually have been printed on the paper. I love this paper. It's from the Obscure line in basic gray, and the name of it is Isolate. And this was for a quarantine scrapbooking hop, and it was about our quarantine life now, and isolate is kind of the key word there. So I loved it, and there is a video on that. This is the strip from that paper so that I could always remember. There is it's also for the Mind the Scrap Summer Challenge and the DEF recipe in Spoonful of Scraps. So there's like I said, there's a video out on my channel, and look for it under the quarantine scrapbooking label there. It'll be tagged. This is for Mixed Media Frenzy, and there was indeed a frenzy. This was the original by Missy Whidden, and I did this version of it to say hooray and celebrate being named to the Scrap Happy creative team. And as soon as I'm done with this, I'm going to go finish up a blog post that I'm doing for them, and that's one of the exciting things that I'll be involved in there, and I couldn't be more thrilled. Okay, put that there, and I don't know if you've noticed, but sticker books that stick around for a while don't stick when you put them on a page later. This one is where I'm switching back to Paige Evans supplies. Again, this is from Turn the Page, and so are the butterflies, but this background I think is from Bloom Street. Yeah, looking at the back of it, I can tell it's from Bloom Street. This one doesn't have a video, but it was extremely simple. I fussy cut some butterflies. I die cut this one out of some Paige Evans paper, and the same paper, I had scraps of it. I tore some bits and stuck them under, peeking out of this overlay paper. And I snuck in a Vicky Boutin phrase sticker. It says good stuff. Stamped hello, I forget what stamp that is. It's from this set, and I think it's crepe paper. I couldn't be sure. I've taken it out of, I've used it every stamp in there so many times, and I doodled some little butterfly trails to meet the requirements there. This is another one with Paige Evans. It's simple, quick, clean, easy. I doodled one of these little designs there. I stamped this little heart there. I used a die cut from Bramble Fox to do the heart and this little parentheses sort of a thing in the same paper that I backed the photos in that I used for this. Just a grid design. This is from Horizon. I think this is also a Horizon. The green is Horizon. This is Horizon. But I think the striped paper is from Turn the Page. So this is, I believe, all Horizon except this piece right there is from Turn the Page. This is also from Turn the Page. And when I did this, it was from turn. So it's not all horizon, but there's a lot of horizon here, including this beautiful kind of peachy colored background. And then we go to a monochromatic page, all Paige Evans. Again, I think it's the green. This pattern is horizon and this sticker is horizon, but I think all four of these squares are from Bloom Street. And you may not be able to tell, but I made a mistake in some stamping right here. I covered it up with this sticker and I re-stamped down here. It says in tiny, tiny letters, it says awesome. This is a butterfly story, and I did 2 butterfly stories. They're meant to be companion pages. They're obviously not matching, but I did use some of the same green paper on both. This is horizon mostly on here. I fussy cut these flowers from there. Again, I'm using the little die cut from Bramble Fox. I have used nearly every one of those. I got some adhesive. Okay, when you leave a lot of white space, you really don't want anything junking it up. I did a little bit of stamping there. None of these has a video. This is one where the recipe in Spoonful of Scraps said that your favorite color should be the main color on your layout. So I used a lot of purple, and my photo even had purple. It was supposed to use a landscape photo, so I used a landscape photo, but I kind of sneaked in a little one right here. These are some foxglove blooms. It's wild foxglove that we saw on a roadside on our massive road trip that we did 4 years ago. Used a Bramble Fox perspective here for the word vacay, and a little stack of luggage from Paige Evans. These, I think, are from Take Me Away. I use little stamps and doodles to go around. Vicki Booten stencil to do those hexagons. But the papers are from various Paige Evans collections that I just pulled anything that was purple. Okay, here's another, I forget which collection this is, but I love it. It might be, let's see. Yeah, I think it's from Truly Grateful. And I'm gonna kind of turn it this way. And these flowers are from Truly Grateful, which is why the colors match those in here. And this is from Truly Grateful in there. And this, these letters. And the sunshine, I think, came from a different collection. And just a little roadside hike where we saw wild orchids as we're driving along the Pacific, going from California up to, we were headed to Portland and then on to Seattle. This was just a kind of quick one that I had a color photo and a black and white copy of the same. I just love this picture of the girls. These were back in the days when Ava felt like, Ava used to say soccer is life, or life is soccer. I used a page of Paige Evans. I think that's Take Me Away. And it does not match this blue paper I have, which has what looks like kind of distress sort of things. That's actually faded. it's faded from light, but I love the sky-like look of it. And then this one is one I did this morning for Scrap Squad Sunday. There is a video on this. I was shocked. This is the original, and I printed it at 12 by 12 size so I could kind of gauge these sizes of these triangles. And I I discerned that there were 5 different patterns in here, so I cut 5 squares out of my Vicky Bouton scraps, and then I cut them into triangles, and then I laid them on top of here to figure out, to get the mix of, a good mix of colors. And then I put them on a black background, which I really, really love, and I added flowers, which the original didn't have. But I have this had this little banner. I doodled arrows around. I used a clothespin, and I've got a small picture that's the original picture as it was taken, and then I zoomed in to show me sticking my head out of the driver's side window while my husband snapped the photo, and then I just wrote the title on top of that and pinned it there. So I love this page so much more than I thought I would when I looked at this. I was A, intimidated by it, and B, it didn't do anything for me. And so I'm happy with this. The next one I did was a quickie grid. I had these 3 photos of a Pacific sunset. We were driving along, and I just couldn't help but stop and take these photos, even though I knew it was going to put us driving after dark. But it was just too beautiful to pass up, and I've got a little gunk on that photo, and I don't want it there. So I just kind of laid them out on this paper, which I had pulled out to possibly be a background for this. And I thought I wanted something like a grid to help me keep those sections straight, and it turned out I didn't need that. But I backed these with some Vicky Bouton paper that didn't mean anything to me, and it actually left me with this, which I loved. I used a stencil to do the lines, to do my journaling. I stamped there, did some doodling around the frame there, die cut the typewriter, the zigzag, the little notebook paper, the and this, and the heart, all with the die set from Bramble Fox that was released last month. And then this was a different arrow. I used the inside arrow, and I'm not going to throw the outside away. I used it on another page. And this cut came from Christina in the Creative Cuts Club, and I just glued it here and let it just curve that way. And I used a combination of black ink pad and my brown kind of distress ink pad, and I really like the blend of the two. It goes with the background paper. And this was my last one that I did. I did this one in about 15 minutes. I had already printed these photos. They're pictures I took yesterday in the garden. And I had not necessarily intended to scrap them together. Didn't really know what I was going to do, but they were there. So I got a couple pages from the 6x8 pre-done mixed media pad from Vicky Bouton. I had the story, and I put it on top of this page that has some kind of gold text going on there. I die cut sunshine out of the honeycomb and clouds out of this mixed media paper, stamped some butterflies. That's a Paige Evans stamp. And I doodled in some trails there, added the arrow and so forth, and wrote, "Today in the garden, there are herbs ready for snipping, tomatoes nearly ready for a caprese salad, and lots of color attracting bees and butterflies." The bees and butterflies are just everywhere when we go by. So like I said, this one, just things on my table. And this paper was there. It was another paper along with this one that I considered as the background for this heart. So I'm glad I went with the black because it freed up these 2 pages. And if you know me, brown is not my go-to color. So anyway, those are my 27 for this week. I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching. I spent absolutely zero this week. I didn't have to order any tape. Well, no, that's not true. I had to order ink for my printer. And I did get two cartridges of each color. So I spent $1 or $2. But other than that, that's a necessity, of course. Other than that, I spent nothing. So I'm still enjoying, really even more so enjoying shopping my stash. I know that I have a new Paige Evans collection coming in the next month or so, and I'm trying to use up everything that I have of hers. I'm well and ready for Vicki Boutin's next collection because I do not have any 12 by 12 paper, and I'm very nearly out of 6 by 8, except for these mixed media pieces, which I'll continue. Those are not collection specific to me, I guess. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you next week. Have fun. Bye.